go. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to start by lying down on the floor. And if you've got a bolster, then you can use a bolster, and if not, a rolled up blanket. And if you have neither, you don't need either. You can do this exercise, this breathing that we're going to do, simply lying down flat on your back. If you're using a bolster or a blanket, bring it sitting on your mat, bring it right up to the base of your, we have a late arrival. It's Avril. Hi, Avril. So bringing your bolster or your blanket support right up to the base of your spine and then reclining over it. And if you're using a bolster and you find that that's a little bit too much for, too open in the front of the body, too much in the low back, you can slide it slightly back, but not if you're using a blanket, okay? So if you're using a blanket, you can have it right up against the base of the spine, and that helps to support the low back. And as you recline down, perhaps your back doesn't feel quite ready for this first thing in the morning, or first thing in the yoga practice. So you can bend your knees and place your feet on the floor, which will give your pelvis a little bit of a support, the low back a little bit of support. And as we practice, perhaps you'll feel that you've got the opportunity to lengthen the legs, but if you never lengthen the legs, that's okay too. So if you're practicing lying flat and without anything underneath you, that's perfectly okay. You can still do this, but I would maybe keep the knees bent so that you get that sense of length down the back of the body. So whichever position you're choosing, allowing the arms to rest away from the body and spending just a few moments settling your weight, the weight of your body, all the way down. A sense of surrendering. Feeling the sides of the body draping towards the floor. Creating that feeling of openness and length in the front of the body, particularly across the chest and perhaps across the abdomen. Closing your eyes or gazing at one point on the ceiling. And consciously releasing effort and tension from across the forehead, softening the area around the eyes, the tongue, the jaw, shoulders, arms, hands and fingers, all relaxing, softening. Releasing as much effort from the legs, from the feet, as you can. This passive opening is particularly useful if you spend a lot of your time sitting, either driving or working at a desk, or in a forward bending position for, in my case, gardening, weeding, picking and pruning. So now your body's settled, directing your awareness to your breath. Maybe taking a few deeper breaths. Observing how your breath moves in your body. Which parts of your body are involved in your breath. React to your breath. And now that you've directed your awareness to your breathing, is your face still relaxed, or have you adopted a concentrated furrow of the forehead? In which case, just releasing. So we're going to be here for about another minute and a half. So you can allow your body to really relax, rest, and simply breathe deeply. Your next exhalation, just preparing to move. If your legs are extended, you can bend them in and place the feet on the floor. And we're going to create a little bit of firmness, a little bit of control across the abdominal muscles, drawing them inwards and upwards a touch, and roll to one side. If you're on a support, if you're not, you don't need to. And then just ease your support out from underneath you before rolling back onto your back. I'm just going to move mine so it's a little bit out of the way. And we're going to just, as we lie here, allow our spines, our bodies to adopt this new shape and rest into it. So it might feel a little bit odd as you release from that open posture into now a different position for the spine. That's okay, just taking a moment here. Now that we've opened the chest really well, we're going to rest our hands on our abdomen. So bending the arms at the elbows, resting the hands on the abdomen, somewhere, it doesn't matter where. If you prefer to rest one hand up and one hand down, some people prefer that, that's okay. Don't worry too much about where you get to, just choosing a position that's comfortable. And then just gently maybe retracting the chin a touch, lengthening the back of the neck, making sure that feels comfortable too. And we're going to do some more focused breathing. So here, if you want to close your eyes, it helps you to internalize the experience, but if you don't feel comfortable with the eyes closed, just looking towards one point. I'm first just going to feel the breath moving in the body and the hands moving as we breathe. Still relaxing the shoulders and the face. And then I'd like you to count the length of your breath in and your breath out. So some people like to count like on 1, on 2, or 1 elephant, 2 elephants. If you find counting your breath is not conducive to relaxing, you can say a phrase like the colors of the rainbow, or a mantra, or a personal phrase to you. And you can count the number of words or the length of the phrase, both as you inhale and exhale. Using some way to determine how long you're breathing in for and how long you're breathing out for. Might take you a few breaths to settle into a rhythm. That's okay. And there's no right or wrong way to breathe. You're just observing the length of your current breath. And then for the next few minutes, we're going to try to extend the exhalation part of the breath only. So as long as your breath is soft, your body can remain relaxed and at ease. And as long as you're not breathless in any way, trying to add 1 count or 1 beat to the exhalation part of your breath. Perhaps you're breathing in for the count of 4, trying to breathe out for the count of 5, or even 6, if your exhalation was already slightly extended. If that feels easy and your body remains at ease and relaxed, adding another beat or another count to your exhalation only. Still breathing in for the same amount. Breathing out for longer. And you can do that simply by slowing down the rate at which you exhale. If you feel you've done as much as you can do, stick with the rhythm that suits you. But if your face is soft and your body is relaxed and your breath is soft, you can add another count or another beat to your exhalation. If you're thinking to yourself, how is everyone adding these extra counts? I can't do it. You might find that your inhale is too big. So reduce the amount you inhale for, and your exhalation will become easier. It's counterintuitive, but it works for most people. So try breathing in for a shorter time and seeing if you can breathe out slightly longer. Usually, I don't encourage you to do an exhale more than double the length of your inhalation, but today I'd like you to explore a little bit further if you want to. So as long as your breath is soft, your body is relaxing, your face is relaxing, you can extend your exhalation by another count or another beat.
Try to do this without ever gasping for air with your inhale. So inhaling always gentle, steady. And then at the end of your next exhalation, allowing your hands to rest away from your body, palms turned upwards if that's comfortable, and your breath to soften back into its natural rhythm, and simply observe the effect of your practice. Perhaps your breath has become barely perceptible after all of that great deep breathing. When you're ready, you can gently bend one knee in towards your chest, hugging it towards you, and then the other. And we're just going to keep the knees in a comfortable position for you and rocking side to side or backwards and forwards. And if you want to open your eyes, sometimes that helps you to feel like you've finished the breath practice. You can observe the world around you and see if the colors are maybe just a little bit brighter. Then when you're ready, you can take one foot to the floor, then the other, extend one leg, and then the other. And we're going to start the movement part of our practice with some leg lifting. So chin towards the chest. We're going to firm the belly muscles. We don't need to press the low back down into the mat. You can just firm the belly muscles where they are and place the arms palms down by the sides and press the backs of the arms and the backs of the shoulders into the mat. Make sure that your toes are pointing upwards, so you're flexing your feet but not over flexing. And then inhale your right leg up as far as it feels it can easily go when it's straight. Exhaling your knee into your chest, hugging it towards you with one or both hands. Inhale, extending your right leg up towards the ceiling again, extending through your heel, firm in the belly. Exhale your right leg down to the floor. Same thing on the left side. Inhale, a long straight leg up. Exhale, knee into chest, hugging the knee towards you. Inhaling, straightening the leg, arms down by the side, firm belly. Exhaling down. Inhaling right. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling left. Exhaling, knee to chest. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling right. Exhale, knee to chest. Keep the belly firm. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling left leg. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more to each side. Inhaling right. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling left leg. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Just rest for a moment. The breath is most deliberately faster than it was when you were breathing slowly. Okay, so I'm sorry if that was a bit of a shock to the system. Now we'll do the same thing with straight legs. So really firm in the belly, drawing the navel down towards the spine, activating the muscles that we feel in the pelvic floor a little bit as well if you can, and pressing the shoulders down, chin towards the chest. Inhaling left leg up, long and straight. Exhaling left leg down, long and straight. Doesn't matter where you get to. Inhaling left leg up. And exhaling, left leg down. Inhaling, right leg up. Exhaling, right leg down. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhaling, left leg down. Inhaling, right. Exhaling, down. Inhaling, left. Exhaling, down. Belly muscles still firm. One more. Inhaling, right. Exhaling, down. Inhaling, left. And exhaling, down. Very good. And now we're just going to bend the knees into the chest one at a time. And here we're going to keep the toes together, take the knees apart and make big circles with the knees. Just rocking slightly backwards and forwards over the bottom of the spine. And going in the opposite direction as well. Massaging the low back, the top of the hips into the mat. Excellent. Now we're going to keep our feet where they are and place our, so we're going to do double leg lifting, but double leg lifting isn't for everybody. So if you already know that double leg lifting isn't for you because you've done it before, then you can simply do single leg lifting again, maybe 3 to each side. If you want to try double leg lifting, you can. You just need to go a little bit easy with it, and we'll do it together. So the hands come underneath the hips or the outer buttocks, just a little. It gives you a little bit of support and stops your back moving away from the floor. And we're going to extend both feet up towards the ceiling. So this is slightly easier to do when the back of your body is quite long. If your legs are quite far away from you, you might prefer to do single leg lifting. You keep your chin towards your chest. Press the backs of the shoulders down and really firm the belly, and if you can, the pelvic floor. Inhale in this position, and then exhale as you release the feet towards the floor. So lengthening the legs down. As soon as you feel your back move or begin to move away from the floor, you breathe in and lift the legs up. Breathing out and down. Breathing in and up. It's really important to keep the chin towards the chest all of the time. If the chin lifts, it indicates the abdominal muscles are not having enough strength to do this. And if your back lifts away from the floor, you've just got the potential to injure yourself. So try to work well within the limit of the back not lifting. So firm in the belly, firm in the shoulders, chin towards the chest. Inhaling at the top, exhaling as you release the legs towards the floor. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up, belly firm, exhaling down. You don't have to do many. If you begin to feel it in your back, then please release. This should be very comfortable. And if you can, doing 2 more. Excellent. Finishing at the top, bending the knees into the chest, hugging them towards you, and just with the knees together, making a little twisting and turning from side to side. You'll soon know if that exercise didn't suit you, and if it doesn't, then please stick with the single leg lifts and just allow your body to develop some strength slowly and gradually. And double leg lifting is not necessary. It's not like the most important bit of yoga. It's just a nice thing to work towards with the single leg lifts. Aces. We're going to release the feet down to the mat one at a time. 1, 2. Keep the knees about hip width apart, the feet about hip width apart, maybe slightly wider if you prefer, and release the arms away from the sides. The palms can be turned upwards here if that suits you. It suits most people. If you turn your palms downwards, you can feel the tops of your shoulders rolling forwards. Palms upwards lets the shoulder blades release into the mat. Again, firm in the belly here, and exhaling your knees down towards your left side. firm in the belly, breathing in as you come up to center and exhaling the knees over to the right side. Breathing in and up, breathing out and over. You can move your head if you want to, but you can keep it still for now if you prefer. Breathing in and up, breathing out and over. Keep moving with your breath, controlling your movement all the way up and all the way over. You could stop at any time and hold the position with the strength of your core muscles. Very good. We'll do one more to each side. And then the next time you come back to center, you can take your feet towards each other and the knees towards each other. If it's easy for you to keep them together, that's great, or just closer than they were before is fine too. And we're going to firm the belly again. Breathe in the center, breathe out as the knees come down to the left. Maybe the right foot comes off the floor here. Breathing in back to the center and breathing out to the right. A little bit more of a twist here, or a twist in a different place. Breathe in back to center. This time turn your head to the right as your knees go to the left, keeping your right shoulder on the floor. Breathing into the center. Breathing out as you turn to look towards the left hand, the knees go to the right. And doing 4 more of these to each side. Just moving slowly, steadily, with great awareness of your control and your breath coordinated with the movement. Breathing in the center. Breathing out as you turn the head and the knees. Breathing into the center. Breathing out as you twist. 4 more to each side. And then as you return to the center, just taking a moment, taking the feet a little bit further apart. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together and just open the knees wide. So this is called Baddha Konasana, the bound angle pose. And here we're just exploring, so it doesn't matter how far apart your knees come. And if this one doesn't suit you for any reason, have a go at just extending your legs. So with the knees more towards each other, just extending the legs into Shavasana, okay? So it has quite a similar effect on the low back, regardless of which of those options you choose. And we're going to take just a few deep breaths, feeling the openness in the pelvis if you're in Baddha Konasana, and the release of the hip flexors if you're in Shavasana. After your next exhalation, firming the belly and the pelvic floor, bringing the knees in or up one at a time. Very good. Awesome sauce. Knees back into the chest. Hug them towards you. Make any movements that feel good with your spine. It's quite nice to do a little bit of rocking and rolling in between all of these postures. Helps to keep the low back really mobile, but also not too mobile. Oh, sorry. Okay, feet down to the floor one at a time. You can have the feet as close together as feels comfortable for you. We're going to do a dynamic bridge pose. So for most people, hip width apart works the best. If you find that your knees drift apart, then you might prefer to bring your knees a little bit closer together, or put a cushion or a block between your knees, just to keep them towards each other. The heels can be as close to the buttocks as you like, but if you can easily get your heels to touch your bottom or nearly, then that's probably going to be a little bit too bendy for your knees. So just giving yourself ample space to move. And arms down by the side with the palms pressed towards the floor, and feel the shoulders, the back of the shoulders, the back of the arms engage downwards, lengthening through the back of the neck. We're going to press into the heels and the big toes and the shoulders and the palms, and inhale as we lift the hips away from the floor, and exhale as we gradually, vertebra by vertebra, release the back down. Firm in the belly, firm in the pelvic floor, breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Moving with your breath, inhaling, releasing the body up from the floor, exhaling, releasing down. The head remains quite still, breathing in and up, and breathing out and down. We'll do one more dynamic bridge. Then we're going to do just a touch of holding. So today we're going to hold the outside edge of the mat. So if you're working with a mat, you can do that. If you don't have a mat, I'm going to ask you to bring your arms a little closer together underneath you. So this time as you come up, you can hold only if you want to, coming all the way up as high as you feel able to, still strong in the belly and the pelvic floor, not letting your knees drift apart. And if you want to, you can hold the outside edges of your mat and just roll your shoulder blades towards each other underneath. And if you're not on a mat, then simply roll your shoulder blades underneath and just roll your hands a little bit closer together. You can even clasp your hands underneath the body if you like. So here we're going to try to press down with the backs of the arms to create a little bit of gentle leverage to help our bodies move away from the floor. Just as much as feels comfortable. Pressing into the heels, into the big toes, lifting the hips, pressing into the arms behind us. At no point should you feel any discomfort in your neck. So if you do, just release a bit down or release out completely. Try not to turn your head, and breathe deeply wherever you get to. Feel the space all around your rib cage. Breathing into it. Last deep breath. And then gently easing the body down. You can come up onto your tiptoes if you want to, and roll down one vertebra at a time. Slowly, 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 slowly. And at the bottom, just releasing your shoulders if they're still tucked up underneath you. Releasing the arms wide. And we're going to lengthen the legs along the floor. So I know you feel like you want to bend your knees into your chest, but lengthen your legs first along the floor and open yourself into Shavasana, and see if you can soften your tension, the effort of your practice, with your breath instead. A couple of deep breaths in. If you need to, you can sigh out through the mouth. Another deep breath in. And then allowing your breath to go back to its normal rhythm, and perhaps just rolling your feet from side to side. So rolling your thigh bones, your leg bones in your hip sockets, just a touch. And also what you might like to do is turn your head from one side to the other. Very good. And if after doing that a few times, you still want to bend your knees into your chest, then observe that in your body. And absolutely, you can bend your knees into your chest, hug them towards you, and make maybe a little bit of rocking and rolling movement here. Going in both directions if you're going in a particular direction. Aces. Okay, so we're probably just about ready to come off the floor. And we're going to do that by keeping the knees in towards the chest and gently, with the tummy engaged, bringing the head towards the knees. We're going to practice this a few times. So inhale as you release down. Exhaling, head to knees, firm in the belly. Inhaling, releasing the head to the floor. Exhaling, head to knees. Last one, inhaling down. This time as you exhale, head to knees, you're going to keep your head up and then use the momentum of your body. So rocking your feet or your knees in and out, rocking through the length of your spine. So this is an exercise in itself. We're not trying to rock up into sitting just yet. We're trying to massage through the back of the body. And if you're very finely boned and this is very uncomfortable, please don't do it. But if you can, trying to balance on your sit bones when you come up without your feet on the floor, then tucking your chin to your chest, rolling back down and coming up to balance. See if you can do a few of these. They're really difficult to do as you're talking. Oh. And then on your next one, coming up into sitting. Excellent stuff, guys. So we are now up sitting, not up standing, but up sitting, and we're going to extend our feet away from us, just a touch. Aces. And here, taking the hands behind the body, and just opening the chest a little bit, leaning backwards a little bit, and feeling the chest open just by drawing the shoulder blades together, looking up. And then releasing back to center, drawing the shoulder blades together, looking up, and releasing back to center. I'm going to take the feet onto the floor and simply rock the feet from one side to the other, or rock the knees rather from one side to the other, whilst leaning back ever so slightly, just to again feel the articulation of the leg bones and the hip joint. Then coming back to center and extending the legs. We're going to practice Dandasana first, stick pose, and then we'll move into the boat. So hands either side of the hips with the fingertips pointing in the same direction as the toes, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, lifting the chest and lengthening through the back of the neck. So we get this really beautifully long spine. And we're trying to, at the same time, press the backs of the legs down. But if you've got hypermobility and your heels come off the floor, keep the heels down. So engaging the back of the legs downwards, the crown of the head upwards, firm in the belly, and then softly releasing your hands away from the floor and resting them onto your legs without losing any of your lift. Breathe deeply here. I know it takes some effort to hold. See if your breath can help you to stay in this position.
And then when you're ready, just relaxing. And that will feel really nice just to relax. We're going to bend the knees in, hug them towards us, wrap our arms around our knees, and take the chin towards the chest. Observe a few deep breaths here as well. Feeling the back of the neck lengthen, the back of the body also lengthen. We tend to think that slumping forward or adopting a sort of slouched position is bad for us, which it is if it's the only position that you adopt. But actually we need this forward flexion, gentle forward flexion of the spine, just as much as we need the backwards extension of the spine. So it's important to stretch out the structures, create a little bit of space sometimes. Okay, so we're going to go from here into boat pose, and we do it in several stages, Navasana. And it's sometimes people's favorite pose, and it's sometimes people's less favorite pose, and that's okay. We're going to do various different versions. So extend your feet away from you a little bit, so you've got a little bit of space between your knees and your chest. And we're going to take our hands behind us a touch and roll the shoulder blades together. So here we're trying to create length from the tailbone to the crown of the head, and also trying to create a similar line from the hip to the knee. And we're going to lean back ever so slightly on our hands so that we can firm the belly and raise one foot off the floor. And then we're going to raise the opposite arm off the floor and just see how much holding we have to do here in the center to be able to do this pose. And release down on this side. Come back to your sort of more neutral spot. Re-roll your shoulder blades together. Re-engage your abdominal muscles, your pelvic floor. Lift the opposite leg off the floor and reach the opposite hand forward. Observe how much effort this is. Maybe the effort is not where you expect it to be. It will be different for everyone. And gently releasing down. Excellent stuff. So I'm going to sit myself up a little bit higher because I prefer that. And with boat pose, the gap between your torso and your thighs, the bigger it is, the more challenging the posture. So we're going to come into this in a slightly different way. We're going to hold underneath the backs of the knees. We're going to take the feet off the floor and balance on our sit bones to begin with. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Tuck the chin towards the chest just a little. Firm the belly muscles. We're going to lift one leg up so that the foot is extended in front of the knee, and then the other. But we're still holding on with the arms. We've still got the thighs quite close to the torso, and we're still doing a lot of work in our center as well. A couple of deep breaths here. And then just floating the feet down one at a time. You can just relax the feet to the floor, relax the arms for a moment, and give yourself a little forward fold over your knees. Just easing through the body. So if at any stage you feel that the boat pose that we've done prior to us moving on to another variation is the one that's for you, then you stick with that variation. Okay? This time we're going to again hold underneath the backs of the thighs, roll the shoulder blades towards each other, firm the belly and float the feet off the floor. We're going to lift one leg up and two legs up, so the feet are out in front of the knees. And then if you want to, you can reach one hand forward, really firm in the belly, and the other hand forward. And gazing ahead, lifting in the chest, lifting in the abdominal muscles, breathing. And whenever you're ready, holding onto the backs of the thighs, just releasing down one foot and then the other. And gently folding a little bit forward, lengthening the chin towards the chest a touch, just so you get that nice sense of releasing the effort in the back of the body, almost like a seated child's pose. And notice if you need to take a deep breath, Notice if perhaps your heart rate is slightly increased. With postures that require a lot of effort, sometimes that's the case. And we'll take another go at boat pose. So if you liked that variation, you can stick with it. If you want to do a little bit more, you can. So we're going to come back with the hands underneath the thighs to begin with. Sitting really tall, shoulders back and down, firm in the belly, lifting one foot up and then the other, extending one hand and then the other. And then here, if you want to, extending the legs so that they're straighter, keeping the shoulder blades towards each other, lifting in the chest. And if you want to, you can extend the arms. Oh, that's a touch too far for me today. And holding and breathing. And then gently releasing, feet down to the floor, giving yourself a little bit of a forward fold as well. And a couple of deep breaths. Just observing the effect of that posture work. And we're going to come from our seated posture here onto our tummies. So if you can, just roll yourself down onto the floor. It doesn't need to be graceful, but if it is, that all the better. And we're going to make a pillow out of our hands and just rest the forehead towards the back of the hands, toes towards each other and heels apart. And here, just a few deep breaths to try and ease the effort of boat pose. So boat pose is a pose that really does require quite a lot of central strength, core strength. And in the hip flexors particularly, they can do a lot of the work here. So in lying flat on our bellies, we've got the opportunity to extend our hip flexors ever so slightly and give them a little bit of a rest, resting the pelvis down, surrendering our weight to the floor, the weight of the head as well. And if you prefer, you can move your arms down to your sides and turn your head to one side. So you've got one ear to the floor. Whichever position you're in, relaxing as much of the body and the face as you can. Taking some really deep breaths and allowing that breath as you breathe in. The belly will press towards the floor or the bottom of the rib cage. And it creates a sort of lifting, opening sensation in the low back. Quite delicious after a big effort posture. So observing, enjoying that release. If you've got your head turned to one side, turning to the opposite side as well. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to center and we're going to form a pillow for the forehead. We're going to try and keep the head down. So the head down, the upper body quite relaxed. Going to bring the feet towards each other and press the pubic bone down, engaging the buttock muscles, lifting in the belly muscles. I can hear my daughter screaming in the background, sorry about that. Lifting the belly muscles and the pelvic floor. We're going to inhale, lift the right leg off the floor and just hold it up there for a little moment. And then when you're ready, releasing down. Firming the buttocks, pressing the pubic bone down again, lifting the belly muscles. Inhaling the left leg up, just holding for a moment, keeping the upper body down, the head down, and releasing down. Going to do a couple more to each side. So always re-engaging with the pubic bone pressing down, the abdominal muscles lifted. Inhaling right leg up. Imagine you're trying to touch something slightly further away from you than your foot. And exhaling down. Inhaling left leg up, lengthening the toes behind you. And exhaling down.
Re-engaging in the center muscles, breathing in as you reach the right leg back and up. And releasing down. Breathing in as you reach the left leg back and up. And releasing down. And releasing your hands out in front of you. We're going to do a little variation of the bow pose. So from here, really firming the belly, pressing the pubic bone down, we're going to lift the arms, the legs, and the head up. And if you want to, you can simply release down as you exhale. We'll all do that just now. And then do a few more dynamically like that, if that suits you best. For those who would like to work just a little bit deeper, breathing in and releasing up, firm in the belly. And then we're going to breathe out, take the right hand towards the right foot, doesn't have to touch. Breathe in back to the center. Breathe out, left hand to left foot, doesn't have to touch. Breathe in back to center. You can rest or you can do one more to each side. Reaching back for your foot, back to your center, and then reaching back for the left foot and back to center. Then lifting all of the arms and legs up and releasing towards the floor. Releasing back into your resting pose, either a pillow out of the hands, turning the head or resting the forehead, toes towards each other, heels apart. And observe the effect on your heart rate, your breath, gently wiggling your hips from side to side. If you need to release any tension in the back of the body. When you're ready, you can take your hands underneath your shoulders, forehead to the floor, engage the abdominal muscles, and just come into an extended child's pose. If child's pose doesn't suit you, then you can simply come up onto your hands and knees. We're all going there in a few moments anyway. So if you're in child's pose, just take a couple of deep breaths. Ease the spine into this slightly different position. And then coming up into hands and knees when you're ready. And here we're going to do a couple of cat poses. So firming the belly, firming the pelvic floor, inhaling as you look forward, opening the chest. And then exhaling, really push the mat away from you, round the back up towards the ceiling and chin to chest. Inhaling, lengthening through the front of the body. It's not about bending the back, it's about creating length across the abdomen, the chest, the front of the throat. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, tucking the chin into the chest. Inhaling forward, lengthening, opening. Exhaling, rounding under, lengthening the back of the body. Inhaling forward. And exhaling, rounding under. From here, we're going to go into a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes and pressing into the hands, knees nice and bent as you release your hips up to the ceiling. So you can keep your knees as bent as you like. Press the chest towards the thighs and maybe just wriggle a little bit in your tailbone. Wiggle it from side to side. And then if you want to, you can extend through one heel and then the opposite heel. Lengthening through the back of one leg at a time. Still engaged in what's happening in your arms and your fingers. You're still pressing yourself towards your heels or towards the back of the body, the feet. And then maybe taking a little gentle turn of the head from one side to the other to release any tension from the back of the neck. And then from here, from our downward facing dog, we're going to come into a lunge. So you might like to do this by just stepping a foot forward, or you can take the knees back down to the mat
And then come up a little bit to step one foot forward to the front. Doesn't matter how you get there, you choose. Okay, so here we're in our a lunge position. Want to make sure that the front knee is supported by the front foot. So I know that we're going to come into this lunge a little bit more. I don't want my knee to be beyond the toes when I come into that lunge, and you might need to adjust, that's okay. We'll have the hands on the hips to begin with, roll the shoulder blades together, open the chest, lift in the belly. We're going to tuck the tailbone under to begin with to see if you feel a stretch down the left hip flexor if you've got your right foot forward. I might not have said whichever foot forward, the back hip flexor. There we are. Okay, so rolling the shoulder blades together, tucking the tailbone under, feeling that if you've got that length. If you get a feeling of discomfort, don't tuck under so far. And then from there, lengthening into your lunge, maybe just a little bit deeper. Feel how that feels to you. We want to still have that sense of drawing the two thigh bones into the hip sockets. So we stabilize in the center and we're still firm in the belly here. Coming up a little bit, making sure you're tucking under just a touch and coming into your lunge. We'll do one more up. And I want you to come into your lunge enough that you feel a stretch, but not all the way, so you're not sagging. And then here, breathing in as you reach your arms up and opening the chest. And then we're going to breathe out, take the hands all the way down to the floor and come back into hands and knees, back into downward facing dog. Very good. In your downward dog, just paddling out, paddling a little bit from side to side, maybe turning the head, or if you prefer, keeping the knees bent and swaying the hips from side to side. It's a really nice way to stretch the sides of the body. Take another deep breath in, another slow breath out. And then we're going to come to doing our lunge on the opposite side. So transitioning forward in any way that makes it comfortable for you. And beginning in this more upright position, making sure the front knee is stabilized, tucking your tailbone under, hands on your hips, rolling the shoulder blades together, just observing, see if you can feel that stretch, that openness on the front hip, on the back hip flexor before moving into your lunge. And perhaps it feels really good to do that, and if it does, you can hang out for a while. If you prefer to come up, tucking under, firming in the belly, firming in the space between the shoulder blades, coming into your lunge again. Just gently moving back up again, coming this time in not as far as you can go, but it's a place where you're comfortable to hold. And when you're ready, releasing the arms up, opening the chest, taking a couple of deep breaths here. Try to have that sensation of gliding the shoulder blades down the back, which helps our chest to be open without lifting too much in the rib cage. And when you're ready, releasing the hands down to the floor, either side of your front foot. You can untuck the back toe and come straight back into downward facing dog, or come through hands and knees if you want to. Either one of these is good. We're just going to gently paddle our hips from side to side, or legs from side to side, heels from side to side. And then maybe holding your down dog for a couple of moments if it feels comfortable. Keep moving if you prefer. And then after your next exhalation, just walking your feet gently towards your hands. You can lift your hands up as much as you need to, bend your knees as much as you need to, coming into a forward bending position. You can hold elbow to elbow if you like, or just turn the backs of the hands to the floor, whichever feels comfortable to you. If the back of your neck feels a little bit constricted here, roll your shoulder blades down your back. Feel the length increase, or that sense of length increase down the back of the neck.
And then if it feels comfortable, you can just really gently turn the head from one side to the other. Or nod gently backwards and forwards. And then bending your knees really deeply, tuck your chin to your chest and roll up firm in the belly, squeezing through the buttocks as well. Coming up to standing. When you get to standing, take a moment. So if you're dizzy, always wait. Always wait. And give yourself an opportunity for the blood and various other things to get to where it's supposed to be when you're in this position. And then breathing as you reach your arms up, lift your chest, lift your head maybe just a little. And as you breathe out, bring your hands down to Namaste. Keep the chest lifted and then just let the chin follow the hands towards the chest. Take a couple of deep breaths. When you're ready, just releasing your hands and opening your eyes. Aces. So we're going to finish with a balance before we come down to the mat, or before you guys come down to the mat for a relaxation. And I know we've gone really slowly today. That was quite deliberate. We just want to explore a little bit more controlled awareness, directing breath, these awesomenesses. So you can do the standing balance of your choice. I'm going to do tree pose, but if tree pose doesn't suit, oh no, in fact, let us do flying angel. That's what we will do, flying angel, and if you want to, dancer as well. So it's helpful to step off your mat for balances, particularly if your mat is already on carpet. I'm going to face in this direction today. So for flying angel, we start with our feet side by side and step forward with, let's step forward with the left foot first, okay? Left foot forward. And we're going to transfer our weight into that front foot so that the toes of the back leg are tucked under, but on the floor. So they're still supported, we're still balanced on both feet. Left hand comes up ahead of you with a palm facing forward. Doesn't matter if it's in front or over the head. Wherever it is, center the left shoulder blade towards the back of the bed. Sorry, center the left shoulder blade, yeah, towards the spine. And then reach the right hand out with the palm facing forward, but at shoulder height. So we're opening the chest by moving the shoulder blades down the back, feeling a lift through the whole body to the crown of the head, and we simply float the back leg off the floor, just a little. So it's a little bit of a back bend, a little bit of a chest opener, using a point of focus ahead of you that is not moving, and simply breathing as you hold. If you need to keep the back toes on the floor, you can. If you need to hold onto a wall, using your right hand to do that. Very good. And when you're ready, just floating the feet back together and letting the arms drift back down to the side. Aces. Fantastic. I'm going to turn in the opposite direction. You guys don't need to. We're going to do the opposite side. So we're going to step forward onto the right foot this time. Have the left foot behind us with the toes on the floor. And then feeling that sense of lift as we lift the left arm up, sorry, the right arm up in front of us, and the left arm out at shoulder height. Palms facing forwards, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, firm in the belly. Feel a sense of lift from the center of your standing foot up to the crown of your head, and float the back leg off the floor. Holding and breathing, using a point of focus that is not moving. You don't lock your standing leg straight, because otherwise you do it on your joints and not with your muscles. So you can keep a touch of a bend in your standing leg, touch of softness around the knee joint. And when you're ready, you can gently float the feet together and release the arms down to the side. Aces. So
Flying angel. I don't know if this is a pose of my own inventing. I think it might be. But it was a way to do dancer's pose, which is the one where we hold the foot behind us, but without doing that. So it's the same sort of action on the body, but you don't hold onto your leg. So if you liked this pose and you think that that's the pose for you, you can do it one more time. If you prefer to do another one-legged standing pose, you can. If you feel that doing this pose, you need just a touch more support, a chair or a wall is very useful. Keep the back toes down, but just widen the space between the back and the front leg. That can also help. You can take as much weight onto the front leg as you like. If you want to do dancer's pose, I'll talk you through that now. Okay, so we're going to do a standing balance one more time to each side. You can choose whichever one you like. So for dancer, I like to come into it from the angel pose. But this time I'm going to use chin mudra in my top hand. Okay, so first finger and thumb together. And this is to promote a deep breath to the bottom lobe of the lungs. So stepping forward onto the left foot with the right foot behind, raising the left hand in chin mudra up, and raising the right hand out to the side. Firm in the belly, creating that lift through the center to float the back leg off the floor. And you can hold this one if you'd like to, or you can bend your right foot in towards you and grab hold of your ankle or your foot or your toe with your right hand. Want to keep the knee towards the center of the body. So we don't want to let the knee come out to the side. Towards the center of the body. And this might be enough. And if you want a little bit more, then imagine you're trying to straighten your right leg behind you. Keep your chest open and lifted. You can flex your foot to protect your right knee as well. And breathe gently. Whenever you're ready, bringing your knees towards each other, releasing your right foot to the floor and just letting your left hand come down at the same time. Observe the difference between the two sides of your body, and in between we're going to do a forward bend because it's a very back bendy pose, so we're just going to do a little forward bend. So with the feet nice and wide apart, soft knees, breathe in, reach the arms up, keep the chest lifted, and as you breathe out, fold forward from your hips, releasing towards the floor with the back long as possible. And when you come down, you can hold elbow to elbow. And maybe you might like to sway gently from side to side. I quite enjoy that, but it's up to you. You can simply hold in the middle for a couple of deep breaths. Releasing an exhale through your mouth if you would like to. When you're ready to come up, release the hands down, tuck the chin to the chest, bend the knees deeper, firm the belly and roll up one vertebra at a time. If you need to stop at upright for dizziness, you can. If not, raising the chest, raising the arms and looking up, gathering the palms together and dropping them down to the center of the chest. Awesome sauce. Let's do the other side. Aces. So this time we're going to step forward onto the right foot and have the left foot behind us. Yes, yes. Yes, okay, good job. And then with the right hand, chin mudra, do it the opposite way round if I have muddled my lefts and rights. Okay, so chin mudra with the top hand, reaching up and back, and we're reaching the opposite hand out to the side. I think this is the left hand this time. Rolling the shoulder blades together. And then feeling that lift through the center, firmness in the belly, floating the back leg off the floor. Use a point of focus that's not moving ahead of you. And if you want to move into dancer's pose, just reach behind you and grab your foot. Keeping the knees towards each other, this might be enough of a pose for you. If you'd like to do more, you can begin to extend your leg behind you as if you were trying to straighten it. But you can't because you're holding it. That's what draws your body into the shape. Firm in the belly, softness in the standing knee, just enough so that it's not locked straight. Breathing deeply, using your point of focus, holding as long as you feel comfortable. When you're ready to release, bringing the knees towards each other, releasing your foot to the floor and your top hand down. Aces. Well done, guys. So we're going to do the back releasing for this side on the floor in transition to Yoga Nidra. So for Yoga Nidra, you will need to make yourself warm and comfortable. So be sure to have things around you that you can do that with. If it be some cushions to come underneath the feet, or the knees rather. If you need to have a blanket, definitely I would recommend a blanket, a bolster, a cushion underneath the head. All of these things can be used to make yourself super duper comfortable as you practice Yoga Nidra. But as you come to the floor, bending the knees into the chest and just doing a little bit of rocking and rolling first, easing any tension out of the body. Maybe even bringing the head towards the knees as well. So just doing something that feels good for your spine. I'm going to sit up for Yoga Nidra, so it's easier for me to teach in that position. But you guys get yourselves comfortable. Super. So if you've never done Yoga Nidra before, this is I set the bowl off. This is a deeper relaxation than normal. It takes a little bit longer than normal as well. We're going to do a short variation today. But in this relaxation, the idea is to keep your body really super duper relaxed and your mind quite alert. And that's the hope. The hope is that that would happen. But if it doesn't, if you drift off, don't worry about it. It just means that you needed a little bit of extra rest. Yoga Nidra is yogic sleep. That's what Nidra means. And it's incredibly restorative, particularly if you haven't slept well or if you've got a drain on your energy. It can be very restorative for your energy in general. I find it very useful, particularly when my MS is playing up. So it's good for this. And we usually use a positive affirmation called a sankalpa to create a positive new attitude or idea or habit in the mind. So it's often something that is not true before you start practicing with Yoga Nidra. So for example, when I am feeling really fatigued and achy, then I use the sankalpa, my body is healthy and vital, because that's what I want it to be. So a sankalpa is an I or my statement. And if you're not sleeping very well, you might use, I enjoy a deep and restful sleep. If you don't know what to use, you can use a sankalpa like, I am happy and at peace. So we want very positive affirmations, not anything that may be construed as not so positive. So have a think about what your sankalpa might be. If you prefer not to use one, that's okay. You'll still get the benefits of doing a deep relaxation. Your sankalpa is repeated throughout the practice a couple of 3 times in various sections, and it should always be said exactly the same way, so the mind really gets that that's the thing. It's a bit like building a muscle memory in the mind. So first, adopting a comfortable pose, taking a long deep breath in and sighing out through your mouth. Let's repeat that 3 more times. A long deep breath in. Let all your effort go. A long deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. Last deep breath in and surrender down into your mat. Allow your breath to fall into its natural, spontaneous rhythm and fall away into silence. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften and spread. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing, your mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. Allow the whole of the body to feel heavy, but warm, supported, releasing down. Allow your breath to find its natural, deep, slow rhythm. And as your awareness is drawn to each body part mentioned as we move around the body, allow that body part to be the sole focus of your awareness. Allow it to feel heavy, relaxed, easing any tension away from that part before moving your awareness to the next part. You'll begin by repeating your Sankalpa, your positive affirmation, 3 times, deliberately, exactly the same. And then drawing your awareness to your right hand thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, the right hand, the right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, the right side, right waist, right hip, right thigh, top of the knee, back of the knee, calf, shin, the right ankle, the heel of the foot, the sole of the foot, the top of the foot, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe of the right foot. Move your awareness to your left hand thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, the left hand, the left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, the left side,
left waist, left hip, left thigh, the top of the knee, the back of the knee, the calf, the shin, the left ankle, the heel of the foot, sole of the foot, top of the foot, the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe of the left foot. Bring to mind your sankalpa, your positive affirmation, and repeat it 3 more times. Move your awareness back to your right hand, your right hand thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, the right hand, the right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, the right side, right waist, right hip, right thigh, top of the knee, back of the knee, calf, shin, right ankle, heel of the foot, sole of the foot, top of the foot, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe of the right foot. Move your awareness to your left hand thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, back of the hand, palm of the hand, the left hand, left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side, left waist, left hip, left thigh, top of the knee, back of the knee, calf, shin, left ankle, heel of the foot, sole of the foot, top of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe of the left foot. Now bring your awareness to the whole of your right arm, the whole of your left arm, and both arms together. The whole of your right leg, the whole of your left leg, and both legs together. The right buttock, left buttock, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, the length of the spine, the whole of the back, back of the neck, back of the head, top of the head, both sides of the head, the forehead, the right eyebrow, the left eyebrow, the space between the eyebrows, the upper eyelids, the lower eyelids, the touch point of the eyelids, the length of the nose, the tip of the nose, the right cheek, the left cheek, the upper lip, the lower lip, the touch point of the lips, the tongue, the chin, the jaw, the throat, the right collarbone, the left collarbone, the right side of the chest, the left side of the chest, the center of the chest, the whole of the rib cage, the diaphragm, the abdomen, the navel, the right groin, the left groin. Now become aware of the whole body together. The whole body together. The whole body together. And repeat your Sankalpa 3 more times. yourself back to this time and this place. Bring your awareness into your hands and your fingers, moving your fingers, no, your hands and your feet, moving your fingers and toes. When you feel ready, take a long deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe yawning if you'd like to. Before releasing, if you would like to, you can roll the hands at the wrists and the feet at the ankles. Bend the knees into the chest, hug them towards you. Make any movements that feel good with the spine. Maybe gently turn the head from side to side. And in your own time, find your way onto your side and just curl up for a moment. Letting your body come around gently, keeping the eyes closed. When you feel ready, coming into any comfortable seated position. And taking your time, but once you're upright, rubbing your hands vigorously, getting heat into the hands, movement into the arms, the shoulders, pressing the palms really firmly, rubbing them fast. When they feel warm, placing the hands over the eyes. Feel that warmth soften and release the area around the eyes, blinking into the palms a few times before releasing your hands down as you open your eyes. Namaste, guys. I hope you enjoyed that Yoga Nidra. It was just a short one today. For those of you who are watching on the video, see you again soon. Bye-bye.